countries. We are also seeing that countries, Ecuador, for instance, is expelling the Americans from the basis of one drug which was used to control activity, and not to speak about Evo Morales, who basically is a cocalero. So in other words, the drug production is not a matter of only being sold in the United States and affecting the health of Americans. It's not a major security problem. Is this correct?
Absolutely correct.
So that needs to be taken seriously.
Absolutely, because as I mentioned at the beginning, this is not a problem about just narco traffic or drug trafficking. It's that pipeline is multi-product facility. They bring whatever they can put in. If they need to put a terrorist in the United States, they can do it. They can bring the guy through Mexican border and put it in the United States. And guess what? It's in Venezuela where they have the camps. They are using those facilities to have a small hotels inside for Hezbollah and Hamas people that are raising money from drug trafficking activities, arms sales, and those kind of activities, and they come. And just to give you another final example of how this could be a big threat for the United States is recently in Panama, a scuba driver who used to work repairing the ships that are going to pass through the canal. When they approach to the canal, they have to wait like 48 hours, sometimes on 3 days, until they are able to go through the Panama Canal. One of the scuba driver was found by the Panamanian police beheaded with all his equipment. And then the police say, well, this is very strange because it's something, this is a regular kind of crime. This is a typical drug cartels crime that they have that kind of techniques of say that some way to commit the crimes. Well, to make sure this history, then the investigation was further and trying to understand why this guy was beheaded. And then the Panamanian authorities found that now the Colombian drug cartels are using a new technique to narco traffic. They are basically hiring those guys that usually repair the ships to go undersea with all the equipment, and instead to repair the ship, they before they choose what ship, they check with the Panama Canal people inside. They pay for that to get information what is the final destination of that ship. Okay, San Francisco, California. Going to San Francisco. Say, okay, I'm going to send 400 cocaine kilograms to San Francisco. I pay this guy. I put it in the cylinder, and I ask the guy to attach during the night the cylinder and the vessel on the part and the hull. Sure. And then somebody is waiting for the ship in San Francisco and detach it. Well, then the Drug Enforcement Administration become part of the investigation, and they found some element of Hezbollah and Hamas that came from Venezuela to Panama through the Iranian embassy in Nicaragua, because the borders in Central America are open like in Europe, and they came and they start to try to get the knowledge, the know-how, how to attach things to vessels, hulls. Well, instead to put cocaine, they can put explosives. They can sink one of those ships in the middle of the Panama Canal.
The guy was beheaded because he stole 15 kilos of cocaine before he attached the cylinder, and this was a warning to other scuba divers, don't do that, we don't like that.
Yeah, and then Hezbollah and Hamas is trying to understand. Imagine what is the damage that can be caused to the United States economy if one of those terrorists sink one ship in the middle of the Panama Canal. How long is it going to take to the Panamanian authorities to clean up the Panama Canal? And during that time, what is the damage? This is a kind of thing happening, and everything is very well connected.
Thank you. Yeah, we're going to break for lunch in just a moment, but I wanted to backtrack for a couple of minutes and introduce former Ambassador Otto Reich, who is our ambassador or a current ambassador, but formerly to Venezuela, and formerly the Assistant Secretary of State for Latin America. And I would like Otto to speak for a moment on the oil question with Venezuela.
Thank you, Minister.